This is Fantology.
You may have heard of us.
All right, what's up, Ghostbloods? This is Steven, your host with Fantology Podcast, with my lifelong friends, Jake, Ben, and Josh. This one's going to be spoiler. So spoilers for The Last Metal starting now. If you want to just get like a general idea of what we thought, then check out our non-spoiler video, which is the previous video that we released. And in that one, just a little recap, I liked the book. I think we all kind of we liked the book, but some more than others. But let's talk about some. Yeah, Josh. And the Josh review wasn't quite there for this one. So let's talk about some reasons now. So put your money where your mouth is on some of these.
Hold on. I'm gonna just say spoilers for all of Cosmere, right? Because I want to do some theorizing with you guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna all Cosmere.
Yeah, we're gonna have to call that. So if you have
Cosmere, book, Wheel of Time, I guess Age of Madness.
No, we'll keep it Cosmere.
That's a deep
for
cut,
all
guys.
fantasy books ever.
That's a deep cut to 10 minutes ago.
Yes. Which is a week ago.
Ooh.
All right. So who wants to tell me why my review is too high?
Should we go for it, Josh? I know you're waiting to.
Yeah, Josh, you got to go for it.
Okay, the biggest ones are the Molosh. Just completely nothing happened with them. Completely unsatisfactory. Like they could have not been in the book, and Steris could have had a more interesting plot line that could have better served her character.
No resolution for the Bands of Mourning.
No resolution. Yeah, the Bands of Mourning are just MacGuffin that nothing happens with, and that are being left till Era 3.
Hopefully Era 3. Yeah.
They weren't really a MacGuffin in this book.
They weren't a MacGuffin.
They're a MacGuffin that never even paid off. It just
no. A MacGuffin is something that is like driving the plot. They were mentioned.
They were driving
part.
They were driving part of the plot. A big part.
Really.
A very minor part. They were driving the part of the plot that went nowhere.
They were
driving a portion of a single character.
No, you guys are not using MacGuffin right. MacGuffin is like the plans to destroy the Death Star that people are after, that then starts people on this journey. That was the whole plot.
It was supposed to be what was going to save the city. It was a MacGuffin for Steris's plotline. Yes, it was.
No, it was going to be used as a Deus Ex Machina, but then it wasn't because it wasn't there. A MacGuffin, that is not how a MacGuffin is.
Okay, whatever. I still think I'm right. You did not convince
Whatever
me.
it's called, Josh hated it.
No. Okay. Also, the politics didn't go anywhere. Like the invasion, the war between the I'm forgetting what they're called.
The outer cities.
The outer cities.
Sure.
That politicking. Wait, let me get my ramblings out of the way, and then we can take a deep dive into all of these. That plot line, like it
set your temples.
It tied back in decently well to the set, but it did not actually the politics within the city didn't matter at all for it. And finally, I was mildly disappointed in the overall invasion plot line that didn't really happen between the agents of Trell, like that whole army setting that up, and the way that was resolved was not nearly as bad as the other things I mentioned, but it was a little bit underwhelming. There's my issues.
I want to talk about the politics not really do anything. That's
so you're going for point 2 first.
Well,
3 points. 3 points.
Already debunked the the MacGuffin.
No, I mean the criticism stands,
whatever that is.
Regardless of what
the criticism of the use of I'm going for point 2, but we can get
point 2. Sure.
The politics in all 4 books, nothing really changes. That is kind of consistent with all the books. It's always like, hey, here are a bunch of issues here. Yeah, it should probably change, but not the way these people want it to change, and then nothing changes. So I feel like that was again par for the course. That's kind of what you expect.
I agree with that, Jake, but I don't think that they ever made an effort to actually engage in politicking in the previous books. The first part of this book was pretty much all going to the Senate, seeing if you can wrangle votes, seeing if you could do,
and the politicking
devoted to that here.
The politicking had to do with the outer cities, and that's the politic part that did go forward.
I think Josh would argue that it didn't really matter because the outer cities were just doing the bomb. That was there.
So you would say that the politics are really just introduced at the beginning in order to kind of set up the conflict, and then really the majority of the time in the book was actually used on the characters
conflict
and on the whole bomb plot thing.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
So for me, the the politics were really interesting in the beginning. And I thought that it was a really cool way to use Steris' character, like as a character arc, to be able to get her really involved in like getting these political wins. It got
Get her
her
into the room where it happens.
yeah. Good, nice reference.
Where it happens.
But so I thought that all of that was set up really nicely. And I was really enjoying. I think I even made a comment on Discord about how much I was enjoying the politics in the first third of the book, and then like there's no payoff for that at all. And
I feel like there is, like you get to see Steris.
Yeah,
like,
there is the payoff in terms of Steris becomes like the chief evacuation manager.
Like she finds her worth and outside of just like being a fringe, like being someone on the sidelines. Like she
realizes there's a character payoff, but not a plot
character payoff. And then a plot payoff with the governor, like realizing like, oh, I can be a good governor, and like that affected some change there.
Okay,
the politics,
I think it kind of
got
did,
rid
but,
of the corrupted like hand super advisor person.
See, I would totally agree with that if the evacuation actually like saved lives, but it went from being, oh, it's probably good to evacuate, to, oh, if this bomb goes off, it's gonna like destroy the whole atmosphere, to, so like you never really cared about
it. Definitely saved lives, but we never actually saw that up close.
Did it save lives though? And maybe
it did mention that there's going to be a tidal wave that happened.
It mentioned that like the harbor district was wiped out or something.
Okay, so
I don't know. I guess my expectations for what the politicking would do in this book were pretty low, and they were met.
I just thought it set up, it was done really well and set up a lot of interesting things that just literally had zero payoff besides being character moments for Steris.
Yeah, it was all a Steris. It was a Steris show for
and
that.
Steris had a really good book. Like her character was really well done in this book. I think.
Like, what other payoffs would you have wanted though?
I would have wanted the evacuation to actually like meant something.
So you'd want like more destruction in the city, so then the evacuation would mean something, or
right, or maybe Steris is able to organize like some type of, I don't know, just
yeah, that's character payoff though.
Okay, or if you go kind of different, like a different route than that, and had Steris like organizing a treaty between like some of the outer cities, and like organizing like a resistance force that like has like a small skirmish with like part of this invading force that makes it through. Like I know that's like completely different than what would have than what
I feel like that's outside her character to like be part of that type of
she wouldn't have been the general, but I think she could have organized like a treaty between some of the outer cities or something. Like I don't know. I'm just spitballing like things, but there was a major effort put into like how can we find ways to like detoxify this relationship, and then like
what if the outer cities like fully went up for war? They were all armed, they were all coming in, and then the Malwish became involved because they were influenced by what they were seeing from the governor and Steris, and they intervened to kind of save the war from happening.
I guess we just
everything together.
Yeah, we just usually get things like this from like the Sanderlanches, and there are just a few things that were like very conspicuously like absent from what usually happens with any of a Sanderson book.
I think that's a fair criticism, Josh.
And so these are the things I was looking forward to seeing resolved, and then when I didn't, like I actively was like waiting for it to be resolved, and then I kept like going to the next chapter and it never happened. So like that's why I was saying, like Ben said, when he finished the book and looked back on it, it was like kind of you saw these things, and for me it was like when I was reading it I was like, why aren't these things paying off? They should be paying off by now, and they're not. And
I'm just gonna say, when I said that, it's because I talked to you and you pointed them out. Also, I was reading the book at like 1:00 in the morning or something at that point, so I wasn't thinking critically about it.
I feel like pretty quickly the book changes
to just like totally invalidate anything he says for the rest of the episode.
He's just regurgitating Josh's thoughts again.
He doesn't have any original thoughts because he was asleep when he was reading the book.
Because he was a second born twin.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I feel like pretty early on you saw that is not like where the book was going, and like it was more of a like some sort of disaster thing going to happen and saving it that way. And like I guess if you think of it in terms of like a Armageddon or disaster movie, like the politicking never is really part of the
just like
resolution that way.
It's just like in the day after
good, really.
It's like in the day after tomorrow when the guy stands up at the beginning and like tries to convince some politicians that there's going to be a disaster happening, and then like
Yeah.
It starts happening. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you set the scene, like the politicking in the beginning to me was just setting the scene, like this is where all the like tensions and conflicts are and where people's like stances are, and then it, like I just saw it as set up.
Okay, I think we can move on from this point because there's a lot of other things I really want to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'll just say that I agree with this point. However, for me, it was just like I was never expecting that. I was just always expecting a smaller, more characters centered story. So when it didn't happen, it just like the book just kind of proceeded the way I was expecting. I don't know why that was necessarily. Maybe that's just the vibe I got from all of Era 2.
Yeah, maybe it's because you did a more recent
Yeah.
period of Era 2 than I
Yeah.
did, so you had
I
a
just
better
never thought Era
expectation.
2 was really going to be all that big. And I think part of it is because Sanderson like never originally had it in his plan to make it that big.
So would you
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
a
use
big-
that same? Sorry, I was gonna
Yeah, go
say
ahead.
if you'd use that same logic to explain like the massive glass cannon that was the Trell invasion force.
I
Like
mean,
it's kind of just
yeah.
like, oh, that's not what this book was about. Like it's you know, that it was kind of a threat, but never really a serious threat.
Yeah, I read that when I was reading it. I was like, oh, this is set up for future stuff. Like this isn't
Right.
this
Okay.
conflict is too big to be resolved in this
It
book.
really seemed like a lot of it was set up for future stuff.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also the Malwish and the Bands of
And the
Mourning.
Bands of Mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Malwish one, yeah, like it was, I thought yeah, I did think it was kind of weird how much they set them up in the beginning just to then like not really be talked about until the end, the Malwish. But the invasion, I could see it. I thought it was either going to happen that way, like they never invaded, or they invaded at the end and there's no resolution that way. And like you'll have to like see the consequences of that later. But
Interesting. So this is, to me, it's kind of like this book, instead of having a super satisfying resolution to Era 2, to me it's like a big interlude between Era's 1, like Era 1, big interlude, and then Era
Yeah, kind of.
yeah,
2.
yeah, I think that's
And I think if I
pretty
phrase it that
accurate.
way in my mind, that helps resolve a lot of the criticism.
Just call it
of
Era
it.
1.5.
Yeah. 1.75.
I mean, that's really what it was. It was supposed to be 1.5, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
it got
Sanderson
bigger than
happened.
it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
wh- Yeah. Do we want to go through Josh's other points, or
No,
We
I
don't
think-
have to. We can.
I feel like
they'll
I feel
come
like
out.
that was a good opening to the spoiler.
yeah,
What,
I think
what
for
other,
the Bands of
what, yeah.
for the Bands of Mourning, not like a critique or rebuttal, but like just like theorizing, like who took them? Who do you think took them?
I don't know, but it takes a lot to pull the wool over Tensoon's eyes. So
Yeah.
Do you think it was Wit?
Yeah.
do you think Kaladin had something to do with it? Or not
I
Kaladin,
think-
Kelsier?
Kelsier. I think Kelsier would have, if he had them, I think he would have
Kaladin's
used
here.
them. in the
College
book.
just mopes in there. Like, what are you guys doing over here?
Kaladin's like,
Oh,
you
these
guys
are the
need some
Bands of Mourning. I
therapy?
think I need them.
Yeah. He's like, my emo arms aren't.
He
I
would
don't
love
think
it. It's a
Kelsier did,
spearhead.
no.
He put it on the sill spear.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you think that Kelsier? Because to me,
No,
that
I
would,
don't think
you don't
Kelsier.
think
No,
so?
not Kelsier.
Oh.
I think we would have seen him like hint at
To
it
me,
or
that's like the
use
perfect
it.
heist. I don't know. I mean,
But like he was like worried about everything that was happening. It seemed like all hands on deck. Like he would have, in my opinion, he would have used the Bands.
but
of
we know
Mourning
that he
had
was
him.
flying home from the Malwish, like when he was trying to get like when he was communing with when Maurice
Yeah,
first
when he
met
was
him,
right.
he was flying home.
Was he coming from?
Orchard.
Did he say from the south?
I think so.
But they didn't have him either.
Well, the Malwish, I think, had devised a plot to get them,
I could see that.
and so I think that he might have been helping him.
So the
helping them
Malwish
devise
were
that.
behind the draining, which would then ultimately let them get it. Yeah,
right.
Behind the what?
I don't know how
The
they did.
draining. I don't think.
So-
I don't
so
think
they-
that they're
draining.
drained. I think that they were had like figured out how to block Tensoon's power momentarily, like ability to access them, so that they appear to be
Or
drained.
they had just
Well, no,
changed
they
the
had-
connection to him or something.
Hmm.
Right.
Oh yeah, they rather than just the generic connection, there was some connection to a specific
like-
individual.
It was attuned. I could see the Malwish have taken it. I don't think Kelsier did because I think Kelsier would have wanted to use them for the events of this book.
That's a good point.
Like if he's using
Speaking
jars of
of-
door, like
Yeah.
But
Speaking of Kelsier and the Ghostbloods, I really like the Ghostblood part of this because you saw them in a much different light than you see them in Stormlight, where in Stormlight they seem pretty nefarious. Now they're kind of the heroes, like protect Scadrial at all costs. And so I think that really kind of redefines how we see them in the future Stormlight books.
Yeah.
yeah, it was super different. I did have one critique here. It felt a little too similar to the Reckoners. Like when they went to the Ghostblood hideout, it was like
Yeah.
props there and like we're all the Reckoners, the Ghostbloods, and like
They've all
in
got their different
Stormlight.
powers.
Talk about a
and-
deep
yeah.
cut.
Yeah.
We're not like seriously, we were talking about like just spoiling the Cosmere. Now we're spoiling all of Sanderson's works now, I guess.
But like in
Well,
Stormlight,
I mean,
they're
that's
so
not really a spoiler,
mysterious
but-
and like threatening, and then in this they felt kind of like
Very
more
welcoming.
like yeah,
Well,
and how
hold
they
on
all
here. They're not
they
super
all had-
welcoming.
they were super
They
welcoming.
contemplated killing Mauricia. Not they, but one of them did. The masked dude. Kelsier's like,
Shalon's brother.
yeah. I wasn't gonna spoil it up, but Sean's brother was like, "Ooh, maybe we should."
That's
That's
like
not
Shallan's
that's not
brother.
confirmed. That's not
Oh,
confirmed.
that's
100%
100%.
Shalon's brother.
It's not Shallan's brother. It's
It is. It's totally Sean's
no.
brother, man.
no,
it's not.
dude. No, it's the brother was the other masked person. I think it's like Yitil, the one that's kind of like leading the Ghostbloods over in Roshar.
Yeah, and he was the one that was in the epilogue
Yeah,
Which
when
epilogue?
Kelsier was like,
when Kelsier
don't go kill Maurici.
Yeah, when he was
Yeah,
like,
that's
Marissa-
not Shallan's brother. That's
that's not
that's
Shallan's
a
brother.
Malwish person.
I think we never got it confirmed that was Malish.
No,
He was wearing a mask like
that-
a Malish.
Yeah, exactly. Because his sister is the one that's over in Roshar, who's like Moraze's boss.
Yeah, yeah. The
No,
way they
see,
have the-
I take that as
I think
his
that was
sister
Shallan.
was
His
Shallan
sister
is
is
the one over there.
The one, yeah, he was like,
no,
she
no.
wear,
It
he
said
was
that
like-
they both wear the mask that's like grown into their face.
I
Right.
think I thought it was referring to Shallan's like different personalities. Like,
No. It's just the other.
Oh.
It's the other Malwish that's over there.
I agree with Steven on this one.
Okay.
I think we don't know enough that there's like a 5% chance that it could be Shallan, but I'd be
Wait,
pretty
who's the
surprised. if
Malish
it
that's
does.
over?
Her brother is 100% dead. Like Helleran
She has more
is
than
dead.
one brother. They have more than she has
Well,
more than
okay.
one brother. That's
Yeah,
what that was
she
Josh's
does
point to me
have-
last time
okay,
we
she
argued
has more
about
than
No,
this.
one
I thought it
brother,
was
that's fine.
Halloran too.
No, he's dead.
he's very theorized about being alive.
He's dead, dude. Kaladin killed him.
Kaladin took his shard plate and shard blade.
Yeah, that's a good.
Kaladin
a
stabbed
good
him
death.
in the eye. Like he is dead.
I
Which
have
is
a
why he
theory.
wears the mask, Steven.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
exactly
God.
right.
That's my theory.
I know that. That's why I was saying that.
Okay.
Okay, aside from this, what I wanted to say is another thing that was
Sanderson
so
can't
cheesy.
bring back every single character. That guy is dead.
Why did they use
okay,
code names
just so you know,
much?
just so you know,
I'm just
on
trying to say this
Stormlight,
one point.
this is fandom.
No, Jake.
There are many amongst the fandom of the Stormlight Archive who theorize that Halloran isn't actually dead, that it wasn't Halloran that Kaladin killed when he killed the Shardbearer advancing on Amram's army. There are those who theorize that Kaladin's killing of Halloran will come between his possibly eventually romantic relationship.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay, Josh.
No,
Dude,
that
there are
ship is
many.
sailed.
There, that sounds
I
like
think
Trump.
I think there's a
Many
possibility
people.
that it wasn't really
Tons
Halloran.
of
but
people
there's-
theorize.
Okay, sure. There's a possibility. I'll give you that.
yeah, it's like on the front page of his wiki insert is that many people believe he's still alive.
Okay, Jake, what was
What
the
I was
one
gonna
point you were
say-
Yeah, Jake, your
About-
turn.
There another way where like the Ghostbloods seemed like so childish in this is they all had these code names, but there was no consistent use of the code names. Like sometimes they would use them, sometimes they'd call them their real name. It'd be like, my code name, hi, I'm this. That's my code name. This is my real name. And it's like, why are you using a code name then? Like, what is this? This is like Calvin and Hobbes Clubhouse that's going on. Like that really bothered me. Like that was like,
Are you just
very
thinking of
Reckoner's
Twin Soul, and whatever Twin Soul's real name is?
I don't remember the nicknames. I don't remember the code names, but yeah. I guess Moonlight was the only one who didn't share her name until
Yeah.
she was in Elantrian form. But yeah, pretty much everyone else, they like said their names right away. And it was
Okay,
like,
so what do we think about what do we think about the Elantrian time? I mean, 99% confirm that that's Shay.
yeah.
Okay.
Shy.
Seems like it. Yeah, seems like it is, right?
Okay.
She says her name is Shy.
But she could be taking on a character performing as Shy, right?
Yeah, like the stamp was what, because she became like this almost goddess, like
She
super
became an
powered form.
Elantrian. She became an Elantrian.
But okay, so admittedly, I haven't read Emperor's Soul in a while, but I don't remember Shy being like that.
Well, Shy was like
No,
she was
she's not from Elantris. That's
she
why
created a stamp for herself that made herself an Elantrian.
Yeah, she said, if I use this stamp, it'll be like I was raised in a different kingdom on my home planet.
Right.
So it's like she was raised, like she was born in Elantrian, and
But
whatever.
then why
the
did she
Rahad,
say her name was Shy?
after that, when she became the Elantris, she said her name was like Shy dash something. It was like an Elantrian
But
version.
if that was someone other than Shy from
I see.
Emperor's Soul,
Yeah.
why was her name Shy still?
It wasn't someone. No, it was. She said it would be as if she herself
No,
were born.
Jake, because we said that maybe it's not Shy, that there's a possibility that somebody else created a stamp as if it was like Shy impersonating an Elantrian.
I just didn't. So Shy
guess.
is a character
No.
from Emperor's
it's
Soul
pre-
who's
it's-
in the
it's
other
Shy.
part of Cell, right? So Shy
Yeah.
doesn't have those Elantrian powers. So why would she say her name is Shy when she was the Elantrian?
No,
Because she said before she used it, she said, "This will make me as if I were born in a different kingdom." So it's still her, but
So
it's
it's
just
like
as if she were
rewriting
born
her
somewhere
past.
else.
Same name.
it's like
Yeah,
she's
it's rewriting her own past.
rewriting
Same
her
name.
past to be
Okay.
like an Elantrian.
That's what all this.
Okay.
That's what all the stamps do.
Yeah.
They rewrite that thing's past.
I mean, but
It's
yeah,
still
but I
the
figure you
same
can
thing.
name yourself whatever the heck you want if you're rewriting your past.
No, you want to try and keep it as close to
Yeah.
reality as possible.
Okay, so this is where I don't really remember.
Yeah,
The bottom line,
again, there's a 1% chance it is some convoluted thing and not actually Shy, but
It seems weird
Shy.
for him not to make it Shy, right? Because there's like no other
Yeah,
possibilities.
it
And
should
at
be
this
Shy.
point, we need connections.
She's pretty
and
cool.
he held off on the name for so long until that moment.
Mhm.
Like that's in my
She
opinion, like
has
the
the
writing is
same-
meant to be a reveal right there.
She has the same straight black hair. She's wearing glasses once. It's
Similar
description.
temperament.
She hates
doesn't
the-
like cops.
she hates the police. That's what tipped me off to it being Shy.
And the art stuff, like
She knows Hoid. Her and Hoid have a little,
Yeah,
wink-wink
so what-
relationship.
So that was also kind of funny, just how Hoid / Wit just kind of like shows
Yeah,
up.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
I was curious as to why he is working with the Ghostbloods though.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is he working with the Ghostbloods, or is he just
He was working with Moonlight, and it
was
seemed
he
like
working with Moonlight, or was he,
He
just
has a
around the
common
events?
interest with them because he's aligned against autonomy.
right, but just his history with Kelsier is interesting.
They don't have too much beef with each other. They just slapped each other around a little bit.
I mean, yeah. I don't see Hoid as someone who holds grudges as much,
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see, considering his current state in what's his face in Stormlight Archive,
Okay.
him losing a bunch of his memories and his breaths and stuff.
Well, he didn't
That's
lose a
true.
bunch of his memories. He lost memory of that moment. He lost
But
breaths.
he wasn't,
He did
he
lose
didn't
breaths.
have, he didn't have as much
Yeah,
investiture.
he lost. Yeah, because it's like somehow he stores memories in investiture, but it's not like he
Anyway,
lost
It just
his
seems
whole identity.
It seems like he's pretty capable still, whereas I felt like the last part of like it was kind of a
Mm.
question on.
And do
where
we
he
know
would-
for a fact that this is after?
we do?
it's
Yeah,
after.
Okay.
It's in between
it's in between
it's in
5
the
and
gap
6.
between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I did look at the timeline. It's like significantly after Emperor's Soul. So interesting
Yeah.
to see Shy pop up. Like, how did these Worldhoppers live so long?
I don't know. Like, is there some sort of relativity thing where if they travel long distances, then it's also like they
They
kind of
usually
warp-
travel in like Shadesmar, and doesn't seem like relativity is a thing there since you're just walking or sailing.
Like in Way of Kings, we got Galadon and Demois and that guy from White Sand show up, and that's
Yeah,
that's years after the events of their books.
it's got to be some investiture thing. I'm sure there's lots of people who know that answer already.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, so this is all kind of tying into like the overall like a connected Cosmere, and so that was a highlight of the book for you guys, right? Like I wasn't the only one, and
Yeah,
like, oh,
this
is really
conversation
That was the
is
main.
probably
That
the
was the
best
main
part.
attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. What did you guys think about the Sazed Kelsier conflict that's brewing.
Yeah, I thought that was cool leading into Era 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I like
Sazed
that.
Or Era
lying
2.
about. Yeah.
The real Era 2.
What about
Yeah.
how Sazed lied about the Lyraceum and Kelsier was
Yeah.
like, oh darn it, I guess I'll have to find another way to get Mistborn, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude. It's
Yeah. I wonder what Sazed's like. I don't yeah, I just wonder what his
Why is
his
he
end
going?
goals
He's
are.
going dark.
well, yeah, I think he's
Well, it
I don't
seems
slowly
think
like he's
going
kind of
dark.
unbalanced now. The preservation had kind of been 51%, and it seems like it's tipping the other way.
I didn't get that vibe from it. It was just I feel like it was he doesn't really trust
Really, there's like the
Kelsier.
dark shadow behind
Yeah.
him that appeared a few times.
It's hinted that
They kept
there's
on saying like
issues.
there's something wrong. They kept on saying there's something wrong with Harmony, and you saw the like
Well, what
the
was wrong
dark
with them was-
side.
Trell
was-
had
Yeah, Trell
Yeah.
had like attacked him.
him.
That's what was wrong.
no,
But it was
but
more- it seemed
before
like more than
that,
that.
yeah, even before that, everybody was like, oh, Sazed's becoming incapable of action, right? Like he's
Yeah, 'cause
becoming
he's-
paralyzed.
Part of it,
I
but I,
thought
mean,
that was
most
just
of it
taking
was
him. Sorry,
because
go
like
ahead.
he had to use all his energy to fight autonomy, so he didn't have as much energy to like
No,
maintain
see,
his
I think
own
that
equilibrium.
I think it allowed autonomy to attack him the way that that she did, but I don't think that. I think he's still becoming a little bit paralyzed. I think that the ruin
think-
is gaining more of a foothold in the.
There's no
personality.
ruin though. There is no ruin.
Well, I think that
Well, there's
two
There's
sides to
sides
harmony.
shards.
Though. It's just one thing. It could change into Discord. Like that's what like Brandon said, right? Like it changed into Discord, but it's
yeah.
like
Discord was there was one time where Discord was capital D.
yeah.
I noticed that.
But if Sazed dies, it's not going to fall into preservation and ruin. It will be harmony or Discord wherever he's at. So I do agree. There's like he has the internal struggle, but I don't think there's anything like there's ruin inside of him as an entity. I think it's just I think it's a combination of it's hard for him to act in general.
Okay,
and
well,
then
what about
the
this? We
autonomy
know
stuff.
that as time goes on, you take on more and more of the attributes of the shard that you possess, right?
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe when Harmony when Sazed first got the Shard of Harmony or whatever, he was able to choose more and more of like the preservation spectrum of things, right? But now he's reverting back to the median of where
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that is happening. And I think it's always been like he's more as he wants to do more. I think that's causing issues.
So what's the dark shadow that we saw a couple times at the very end?
I thought it was just like, I honestly, when I read it, I thought it was just similar to how he was described in Bands of Mourning of having like his like robes extending out into forever. I could have
I mean,
misread
it definitely
that, though.
said like when he appeared to Wayne at the end, Wayne saw a second figure that was like a dark shadow. And same with Kelsier at the very end.
Yeah, I just figured it had something to do with his like being a shard holder of 2 shards or something like that. But
I feel like it's more. I feel
I
like that you brought
It
up the
could be.
Discord thing because I remember that I saw it with a capital D, and then when you brought it up, that reminded me.
yeah.
So maybe the
that's-
theory is like Era 3 Harmony goes down and turns into Discord shard.
But I
yeah.
don't see Discord as being like very ruinous either. Maybe though.
Is that just because of the connotation of Discord as a chat app that you enjoy? Makes you feel like Discord is an okay thing?
I don't know. I was interpreting Discord as more just like him not being able to like really do things or like kind of bipolar. But I guess if you're like bipolar with preservation and ruin, you could be snapping back and forth between those, I guess. But yeah, seems like that was set up.
Yeah, lots of, and again, I'm just excited for Kelsier and Sazed to have some beef. But also,
I
I mean,
have 2 more. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
no, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I really liked the fact that we saw Death in this book, aka Marsh.
Yeah, that was fun
Um,
when Marsh showed up.
He
That
shows
was
up
cool.
Kind of a
once in while.
cameo.
He just rocks up in the prison or the police force and like scares the
Yeah.
crap out of everybody. That was awesome.
Did they ever explain like what was wrong with him and then what was fixed
Yeah,
by the
they
end?
needed he needs atium
ATM, yeah.
to survive, right?
And so at the end, Sazed's like, "Oh, we can make
and so he
ATM."
got some because of. Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad that
But
was explained.
That's what's weird though, because I think Sazed lied to Kelsier, but I think Marsh probably knows the truth that they do have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
And I saw that again as like Marsh is under like. I think Sazed trusts Marsh more. He can also affect him more, but like Kelsier has his own goals and he's always been kind of brash. So I thought he didn't trust him with the Lorasium for that reason. That he's like, I don't really like. I like you as a person, but I don't agree with everything you do and your methods.
well,
so I'm not.
Kelsier's pretty much only goal is to make a world full of Mistborn to file trial. So like obviously
That's the other thing. Josh and I were talking about this. When Kelsier's like, oh yeah, the role of the Ghostbloods is just to protect Scadrial, I don't think that tracks with the Ghostbloods that we know from Stormlight. I think that's one
the
of their
Ghostbloods
goals.
we know from Stormlight is to gather investiture to do something with.
It's to help, mostly to help Kaladin or Kelsier get off Scadrial, so he's not trapped there. That's how I understood it, because they said it's in line with the same thing the Heralds want, which is to leave Rosharn's system. And so I think part of that is also to like protect Scadrial, but I think it's more just in line with his whole like I need to make sure I'm as equipped as possible and like can survive as much as possible. I think
he's already getting off Scadrial though. Kelsier is. He's already been to.
No.
Ghostbloods are, but I don't think he can.
I thought
he's
during
connected
Secret
to
projection.
He's using the Seon.
No, but during Secret History, didn't he go over to like the door?
In Shadesmar, he can like walk
he's
around.
just running around in Shadesmar. Yeah.
But that was also before he held preservation, wasn't it? So I don't know. I think
his
that
whole little
affects it as
adventure was
well.
before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like that's like the big thing is once you've held that much investiture, you're kind of tied to where the investiture is stored. But I kind of think him presenting the Ghostbloods as like, oh yeah, we're just here to protect Scadrial is like a half truth of like, let's present the most benevolent side because that's the side Marcy would want to join. And I don't even know if all the other Ghostbloods are aware, but like Murray's is like, I feel like there's much more to that.
Okay.
Okay, Stephen, what were you gonna say? I think we've done our deep dives.
Josh, so you wanted the series to be more epic. Would you have been more happy if one of the characters or multiple of the characters from Era 2 kind of assumed a more legendary role going forward in the same way that the Era 1 characters have and continue to?
So I don't even know if I wanted to be more epic. I just felt like there were promises that were made at the beginning of this book to me, or like, I don't know if promises is the right word, but there were hints of what would happen in the book that didn't pay off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the big
Demolish and the Invasion.
Demolish and the Invasion being the two biggest ones. Like Demolish being important and the Invasion being important. And neither one of those were important at all.
But the whole invasion thing was always framed as, if you don't do this thing, then I'll invade. And so
they didn't do the thing.
Yeah, but like setting off the bomb or like making the outer cities independent, like that was the main conflict of the story. That's why in my mind, like the invasion might have happened, but if it did, it would have been at the very end with
I
no
agree with
resolution
you, Jake.
to
It just seems like Trell should have, if she actually wanted the invasion to take place, she should have had like a bit more like, I don't know, protection around that area, you know, like.
Well, it seemed like she didn't care like how, like what happened either way.
No, I think she wanted to invade
But it was like it would also serve her plan for what's her name, to become her Telson to become her avatar.
Yeah, but she still like just completely left that the big portal into the world or whatever just completely unguarded for the most part.
Well, I mean it was guarded, but there was a lot of chaos, so it became unguarded.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like that's the thing is like, for one, I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say like I called it, but like I I thought about them draining all the investiture and just blocking the gateway that way. And
Mhm.
so when that happened, because we had just read Era 3, it was fresh in my mind because that's how they stopped Ruin as well.
Dang, what
Yeah.
happens in Era
Bring
3,
all the
Josh?
AGM. Well, no, I mean, it wasn't like long before. It was like right
Josh,
before.
No,
Like,
I'm
when
just
they-
I'm joking.
missed the
You
joke.
misspoke and said Era 3.
oh, Era 3, Era 2. My bad.
Era
But,
1
like-
is the one you're looking for there.
Yeah, Era 1.
Uno.
When
Yeah, I
they- when-
agree. That was like, it was pretty like
I think
telegraphed what was going to happen.
Yeah. And so it's like, even if they would have had some of the Trell people come through and invade, and then that room full of, people like Mistborn, or not Mistborn, but Elementers
Mistings, yeah.
had like a big war and stopped like a semi invasion while
would've been
they
cool.
stopped the rest of the invasion from happening. Like, I don't know, just like something more than just like, oh, we sealed up the gateway.
It totally is just a, getting ready for next
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
Guys,
So
I
did
can't
you guys-
believe wait,
Go
I
ahead.
can't believe that we've gone the whole time without talking about the big death in this book. I mean,
Let me say two more things and then
Okay.
we'll get to
because
that.
we got to talk about it at least a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so number one, just quick. So Shy takes the 99% Shy takes the like burned up papers, right? Which are mentioned as being important, and she's got the stamp to restore them. So clearly this is going to be something. I'm guessing, I put this on the Discord, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I'm guessing these papers contain like the secret to compound with hemorrhagy that Marsh was so afraid of. So there's a theory from me.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking about that when you said that, how it wasn't really resolved, similar to in between this book and Bands of Mourning, somehow everyone just figured out that it was really Kelsier and not the Lord Ruler from the Bands of Mourning. And I feel like that was
could have been
just
a bigger
like
thing.
resolved off screen. Like I don't even know how people figured that out. It didn't seem like anyone would realize it at the end of Bands of Mourning. I feel like they could do something like that. Unfortunately, I would be disappointed if they did, where it's just like, oh, we were like, actually Shy left these papers behind and a stamp and we stamped it. And then, something like that.
But she took it, right? Didn't she? She took the stuff with her.
At one point, but I could see it being like easily retconned between like, she left him here as she ran away. But that'd be disappointing. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool if it was the hemalurgic compounding, because we haven't seen any of that, right?
No. And it's hinted at enough, and it's also like mentioned in the Ars Arcanum at the very end. I don't know if you guys read it, but there's like a sentence or two that talks about the potential for secrets there. Okay, the other thing, what do you think Milan was doing at the very end? She's like getting up to a bunch of redheaded people who are having trouble that she's got to save. Like, what is this? Horn Eaters, Vedans, somewhere in Roshar. I don't know, red hair. That's all I got.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Maybe
Like,
it ties
it'd be-
into Stormlight Part 2.
Because I was reading on, I don't remember where, but somebody said it's been confirmed that there is a Khandra on Roshar. But that,
Yeah, I've
but
heard that.
But that wouldn't be her, right? Because that's before this era. So I don't know. Maybe it was her and then she came back and then she left again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Speaking
I'm
of
not sure.
redheads, I was hoping in the beginning that Moonlight was actually going to be Shallan. That's what I was hoping for. I like that it was Shy, but I was hoping for Shallan. Like the nod to Hoid, and when she talked about art a little bit, I was like, oh, this could be Shallan. She's an artist. And then I was like, no, this is definitely Shy. But
yeah, it would have been cool. I had a little bit of hope that was Shallan too, but
yeah.
I thought it was Chris the entire time. I was off.
you had me convinced.
You gotta watch for the swears, man. The swears are always Brandon's tell.
Yeah.
He loves to do the correct in-world swear. And so she said knights. I didn't know off the top of my head what knights was, but I Googled it and it said
Cheater.
from Cell. So
I didn't have internet when I was reading it, but that's what gave it away, is not Shallan for me. I was like, oh, well, unless she's like crafted some Moonlight persona that uses knights as a swear for some reason.
yeah, it was the same with Vasher, right? We knew who Vasher was pretty quickly because the way he talked about colors. Yeah. Okay, let's do the worst of the best.
Wait, we do need to, sorry, I know we're running out of time, but we do need to talk about Wayne in this book.
I'll put
He
it
had a
in
great
mine.
arc.
I'll put it in my
Okay.
worst to the best, Josh.
All right. All right. Fair enough.
That's all that matters.
Work in any future things you want to talk about into your worst to the best.
Okay.
We are
My
doing
worst of the
Wayne so
best.
dirty right now.
We didn't
Squeeze
even
it
talk
in.
about the main conflict of the book, guys.
Well, maybe
We
that's
haven't-
telling. I don't know. Okay, so worst to the best. Here we go.
Wait, Wayne
mine
is in your worst of the best?
Yeah.
So you're saying Wayne was bad in this book?
That's not how works with the
That's
best
just-
works,
No,
man.
Let's
Jake,
go
do you
to-
know how worst to the best works?
Yeah, it's a
It's
bad
the-
part
it's
of the
the-
best part.
Yeah, it's the bad part of the best part. So
So
I'm
you're saying
it
he's
was-
a bad part.
No, he's saying that he's the
No,
best
dude,
part,
just
but there's
listen.
one
Just
aspect
listen.
of it that
Just-
wasn't good.
just you wait.
All these Hamilton references, man.
Uh-huh. So Wayne was the best part. I liked his arc. I liked the story at the beginning with his mother. I thought it was maybe a little cheesy how it kind of tied in there. Like I was,
Felt kind
I
of
don't know, a little allegorical. I don't know if I completely got it, but I kind of, I liked the emotion there. And I liked the sacrifice, and I think it came together really well. Really, as soon as they were having their like beers on top of the tower, it seemed pretty obvious that one or both of them was going down. Like this is way
Yeah.
too much of a Last Supper thing. Ben, you and I talked about that right after we read. The thing that I didn't like about it was I didn't feel any emotion. Like I didn't feel bad at all. I did not feel like my soul was ripped out at all that this character had died. It just felt like, okay, Wayne is now dead. Big deal. I liked the themes. I liked the ideas of, he's trying to forgive himself. I thought all of that was done really well, but I just cared nothing for the characters. So when he died, I was like, okay, he's dead now.
I think
there
for
you go.
those that really like Wayne, it probably has more.
Yeah, that doesn't say too
Emotional
much because he was your least
You
favorite character.
literally talk about how much Wayne annoys you every chance you get.
But I liked what Brandon did with him. So he got him to be good enough to where I liked his arc a lot. But then I
Sure.
still felt nothing when he died.
Again, I think I know I told you this when we talked after, but I think that's because it's the end of the series anyway. So like you're
So
not
they're,
going to
like,
be
all dead.
reading Era 2 without Wayne at all. You know what I mean? So
But didn't you feel a lot of emotion when Ben and Ellen died in Era 1?
Mhm. Yeah.
Even though you knew the series
been a
was pretty
while.
much over.
it's been a while.
I mean, I did. I think a lot of people did.
I connected to them and like them a lot more than Wayne. So
Yeah.
that's I think it's normal for me to have not really felt anything when he died. I thought it was cool. It was and it paid off well. My only issue with it is I feel like especially with the prologue backstory, you can just tell Sanderson's like kind of making things up as he goes. And like instead of it being this like start to end era, like thought out more like Mistborn Era 1 was, this is more like,
Yep.
oh, I'll throw
Yeah.
this in, which
For
it's fun to
sure.
get more of the development there, but it just kind of felt like,
Honestly, I think that's the
minute.
explanation for most of the criticisms we have.
yeah.
Yeah. But I do like what he's done with
we're low on time, but like what are your
Yeah.
guys' worst to the best?
Okay, worst of the best. I will say I'm worried that he's throwing more and more scenes in that are just for cinematic purposes. So 2 scenes that come in mind, and it's tough because they're the like 2 of my favorite scenes of the book because they are so cinematic. But when Wayne puts on his Sherlock Holmes hat and like spins around the room and like absorbs everything so that he can deduce where the
Yeah.
newspaper or where the engineer is hiding or went to or whatever.
Okay.
Again, that was like a very like I'm just worried that he's putting these scenes in to be made into movies. Also the scene where okay, this is my worst of the best, Jake. You can hide those faces.
I was just pondering.
What's your
what
next
you
one?
would say.
Tell us, Ben.
Well,
What's your
also
next
when
one?
when Wax is going like Super Saiyan and like just spraying metal all over the place, and I don't know. To me,
when he goes up the
Yeah.
tower.
Sterile.
up the tower, yeah.
Yeah. I thought also to add to that, when he comes in dramatically and saves the day after the failed sting,
Yeah.
that was another pretty
Yeah.
cinematic
Oh
moment.
yeah. Like everybody's just hiding.
I'm there
yeah.
for it. I don't mind these things.
I
That's
don't
the
see
thing.
why
I thought
you-
that was
I don't
the
know why you
best
can
part of Era
criticize
2.
it. I don't know how
That-
you can like
Well,
the book is better for it. Like I don't know.
I guess I think that they're the best scenes of the book, but the worst part about them is that I feel like they might be there just for they might
Script.
yeah for for screenplay purposes.
So, real quick, let me go.
Too dramatic for Ben.
My worst of the best. I'm going to talk about something that we haven't talked about, which was the actual climax of the book, which was the bomb being stopped by Wayne. I love it that there's like a new payoff for Allomancy. That's super cool that we're 6.5 books into, or wait, no, 7.5 books into a series, and we're still getting these things. For me, this was a little bit unbelievable. Like electricity moves through wires like close to the speed of light.
Is
like,
this related to the research you just did on electricity?
I know,
Duralumin.
I know, but like the fact that implies that you can basically have like stop time completely though.
Yeah.
Because if you're stopping electricity, then that's like approaching the speed of light.
It did
like,
say that
as much as
something
you can.
funny was going
stopping
on with his
time.
eyes, right? I think that the light was interacting with his eyes in a weird way.
Yeah.
It
Because at
mentions
that point,
yeah.
at that point, he wouldn't be able to like even see anymore. Like, I don't know.
Like
It's
light
just
waves were moving at a similar.
You're telling me
as-
that Allomancy is breaking the laws of physics, Josh.
shut up. It's just like when you're getting a little bit close there with like the fact that you're like stopping time completely.
Well, but maybe that's how time travel is gonna. I don't think he's gonna do time travel, but maybe that's how interdimensional, not even
or like just close to light travel. or-
interplanetary travel is gonna be happening.
Maybe.
Oh,
Like
for
obviously
sure, yeah.
we are going
Speed
to be getting that.
bubbles.
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah,
That's
maybe
like
so
a
that's
warp drive.
introducing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this is introducing warp drives. Which in that case, I take it back. It's just the best. It's
All
just
right.
like, yeah.
No, if you had, sorry, I thought you were done.
No, there I'm done.
It
Yeah,
was
there
it
you go.
was kind of unbelievable to me.
It's-
Though,
it's
Josh.
stretching,
In the middle.
yeah.
I like stopped and was like googling like how fast does the electricity move?
Yeah.
And it's
that
like
was the part I didn't take very many science classes. That was always the part of the science classes that I never understood. The whole light
Even
speed.
Mr. McGee
travel
didn't
stuff.
didn't teach you that, Steven?
No, I
Common
always
knowledge.
just absorbed enough to pass the
Common
test, and then I never
knowledge.
understood it.
you guys, Mr. McGee has a massive beard now, just so you know. I saw
Did you
Miss Jen. I
Facebook
saw
stalk?
no. I saw Miss Jensen over the summer. She came to one of Mackenzie's book signings, and she was giving me the updates on all the Basha teachers.
This
Oh,
is
wow.
our
Do you
these
still
are
have
high
Basha?
school teachers
Yeah,
for
still
listeners
Basha.
who were
Yeah. Jensen and
Yeah.
McGee are still at Basha. Anyway, sorry.
So my worst of the best is going to be Wax. I think he had like some Super Saiyan moments, which are cool, but I wasn't really buying the whole Wax. I need you to be my sword right now.
the sword.
Like, is
That
he
was pretty
really
cheesy.
the best option you have? Just a random twin-born? Like, Kelsier is still around. Marsh is there. I guess they nerfed Marsh with the ATM weakness, but like he could have made more
Tensoon.
ATM. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like it's like you had this small scale story in Wax fit in there, and then all of a sudden he's the chosen one of God for this. Like, they were heavier hitters out there, and it's weird that he was chosen over them. I
yeah,
did
but
like
none that I don't think Harmony would use Kelsier.
Kelsier. Like, Kelsier was already part of this struggle, like part of this conflict.
Yeah, I mean, also Sanderson's not going to write another Kelsier trilogy.
Yeah, but then you can write. You don't have to write it
Kelsier's
where
just
like
one book, really. But
Well,
But
I
then
feel like
you have to
Kelsier was trying to stop it. He just got outmaneuvered a little bit. They thought that they had a few more months.
we need another secret history explaining Kelsier's action during Era
imagine
1.75.
Imagine what Kelsier could have. Oh, for sure there's going to be a secret history part 2. Maybe not Mistborn, maybe like Stormlight secret history. But imagine what Kelsier could have done if like Harmony was like, hey, I need you to be my sword right now. Let's like game plan together and everything, and like had that support.
Yeah.
Anyways, I do think along the lines with Wax, I thought it was really cool how like there's like he became a Mistborn, didn't know it, and I really thought you were gonna get like that payoff at the end, and then they reversed it to have it be Wayne instead. Like, I was really fun seeing like, oh, he's definitely gonna go full Mistborn in this, and then I guess we'll never see that, but maybe through his posterity there'll be Mistborns again. I don't know.
I guess maybe it was a little disappointing that at the end of Wayne's arc, when he kind of like forgiven himself, he just dies, like he sacrifices himself. I think maybe it would have been more interesting to see this character have to continue to live and find happiness. But
Yeah.
again, like the series
Well,
is
he
over,
did
so
find
there's no way to see
happiness.
that.
Like he viewed living
But you have
as
to
a
like you have to
punishment.
continue, right? Like just at the end of these types of emotional struggles, you don't just like find it and you're good. You have to continue throughout life, right? You have
Yeah.
to continue to live.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was.
You guys don't
emotionally
care about
resonant.
my Wax's great grandchildren being Mistborns? Like you don't care about that?
Well, he's got to have more children, right?
Yeah.
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 guess
Sorry,
so. You
Max.
think he's-
and what's his daughter's name is Tyndall, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to get the Mistborn powers.
Dang, I
Maybe
just
they were
remember.
close enough to the explosion.
I just remembered one scene. Yeah, one scene where Sazed with Wayne helps, like, shows him the vision of Sazed struggling at the gates. And
Yeah.
that was pretty.
That was pretty cool. Like,
That was
Dramatic.
yeah,
really cool.
a person dropping down and failing to save the person he loved or whatever.
Yeah,
Dang, that was very impactful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
This
All right.
book, yeah, it's a great book.
All right. Some good things.
A lot of good
Some
things.
things. Yeah, a lot of good
A lot,
things.
a lot of really good
Josh has
things.
changed his tune.
No, I'm still.
Has
still
it been a
sticking by
year?
my
A
writing.
year has passed.
I'm just saying there are a lot of really good things.
We've been
and-
burning. What's it? Cadmium, right?
Yeah.
Cadmium.
The whole time. Yeah. After this is over, Josh, once the internet transported speed bubble, you'll find that your children have all grown.
It would be so sad. So yeah.
It
All
would
right.
be. Sorry.
Okay, it's like we just watched Buzz Lightyear.
Spoilers.
Spoiler
dude.
alert. Dude, I haven't seen it yet.
All
I'll
right,
have to watch that movie.
All right, so that's a wrap for Secret History. No, Secret History. It's the Lost Metal. Jeez, way too much Mistborn going on. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you liked, if you disagree, whatever. Like, I think people are, for the most part, going to be like acceptably pleased with this book, but it's
Yeah.
not going to be a home
Pleased.
run.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfectly adequate. But join our
Yeah.
Discord to talk to us about it, because we have people on there that I'm really excited to hear their opinions about this. So
Yeah, for sure. If you want
if
to chat
you're
more,
not on
join
there,
our
then-
Discord.
yeah,
And dang, I guess this is going to come out after the con, but I'm going to be at Dragonsteel Con trying to convince Jake to go. And
What?
if you see us there, you can come say hi.
Yeah, maybe. Let me know what. Yeah, maybe. Comment
All right.
below if
On
you
that,
want me there.
on that really upbeat
If
note,
this video
that's a
gets
wrap.
to 30 likes, then Jake will.
Yes, yeah, 30 likes, guys.
Okay, that's a big bar. All right, see everyone later.
yeah.
Bye.